feelings and being do not have to equate with one another. I'm so glad that what I feel does not define who I am or what I'm supposed to be doing in life. Hey, thanks again for watching, and we're so thankful for you to allow us into your homes. We at Forward hope that you're well and you're staying hopeful during this time. Paul Tripp, famous author and professor, he says this: be careful how you make sense of your life. What looks like a disaster may in fact be grace. What looks like the end may be the beginning. What looks like hopelessness may be God's instrument to give you real and lasting hope. Your Father is committed to taking what seems so bad and turning it into something very, very good. It's natural to have all kinds of feelings when things happen, especially bad, and especially ones that we can't control. But once you step into your being or your purpose or what God has called you to, your being overrides your feelings. Our being is being orchestrated by God in every situation we face. As Tripp states, things are happening that are beyond our understanding in the moment. But what seems bad is actually being turned to good. That's God. That's what God has a habit of doing. He works all things for the good of those who love Him. When we're faced with tough things in life, I would be crazy to say, well, we can't be afraid, or you can't have doubt, or you can't have other feelings and emotions because it's ungodly. But because we're created with emotion, it's impossible to not feel these emotions. God placed emotions within us to have compassion and love for one another. But we do what we're called to do, no matter our feelings. That's what our being is all about. That's truly being faithful in the midst of fear. There are many things that we'll be able to learn from and take away during this time, but here's what I do know. For most of us, we have been in our homes for more time than at any other time in our lives. Let us find purpose in this time with our families. Let us strive to be a better husband and wife and mother and father and sister, brother. Maybe God needs a revival and it needs to begin in our homes. Maybe our purpose needs to be redefined in our lives. Here's my encouragement to everyone is honestly, I've been working through this in my own life. Whatever area of our lives can we be preparing for right now, after all this is over, to see a major work that God can do? I'm not saying we need to have some sort of huge change or a business started. That in and of itself is tons of pressure. All I'm saying is, how can we use this time as an opportunity to fulfill God's purpose on our lives? Each and every one of us experience emotions that tend to override our being. Anger, frustration, anxiety, and fear, and so on, But we realize our enemy is not people or things or diseases or feelings. Our enemy is a spiritual one, and that changes our approach to life. We all experience these feelings, and I would be remiss in saying that it's easy to overcome them. Before Jesus went to the cross, and because of the intense pressure and stress and magnitude of what He was getting ready to experience, He experienced a real human condition that caused Him to sweat blood. Jesus found comfort in God, and He fought against His stress by calling on His Heavenly Father, and thus took on the cross and won the mighty battle against death. He was a warrior, a lion, a victor of all the world and death's forces. His purpose was completed. It is finished. Take comfort in knowing that Jesus knows what you're going through in the difficulties. He knows, and He can empathize and sympathize with you. He cares deeply about you, and He wants to be near to you in times of difficulty in your life. He knows you can overcome. He knows you too are a warrior that can rest on your being more than what you feel. When Joshua was installed as the leader after Moses, God commanded him to lead the people across the Jordan into the promised land. God gives Joshua an empowering boost of confidence, a pep talk, really. And here's what He says in Joshua chapter 1, verses 1 through 9. After the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord said to Joshua, son of Nun, Moses' aide, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now then, you and all these people get ready to cross the Jordan River into the land I am about to give to them, to the Israelites. I will give you every place where you set your foot. As I promised Moses, your territory will extend from the desert to Lebanon, and from the great river, the Euphrates, all the Hittite country to the Mediterranean Sea in the west. No one will be able to stand against you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous. Because you will lead these people to inherit the land I swore to their ancestors to give them. Be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey all the law my servant Moses gave you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left, that you may be successful wherever you go. Keep this book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. I find it interesting that God did not speak to Joshua's feelings. Rather, he said, be strong and be courageous and do not be afraid. And that's what God is speaking to each and every one of us now. Listen, I love you all, and I can't wait to see you this Sunday. Have a great week.